Hello and welcome to this online tutorial of biochemistry. Today we are going to discuss about the glycolysis and its role in energy production. So glycolysis is mainly stands for breakdown of sweets. So here the glucose molecule is broken down into two molecules of pyruvate in a sequence of enzyme catalyzed reaction. This reaction takes place in cytosol. Glycolysis is also known as EMP pathway, and the main purpose of this glycolysis is to degrade a food material, specifically the glucose, and thereby withdraw the energy from the glucose and utilize it or make it available for cellular requirements. Complete oxidation of glucose is said to be done when it gives a molecule of CO2 and water. So for complete oxidation, glucose has been subjected to the three phases. In the first phase, glucose is converted to pyruvate, that is glycolysis, which we will discuss now. Pyruvate conversion to acetyl-CoA. Acetyl-CoA's entry into a TCA cycle, that is another phase. And in third phase, the reducing equivalents either from the glycolysis or from TCA will transport it to electron transport chain, and where its final oxidation has been carried out. Now, glycolysis itself consists of two phases, that is a preparatory phase and payoff phase. In a preparatory phase, the glucose molecule is supplied with certain amount of energy so that it becomes activated. Whereas in a payoff phase, energy has been withdrawn from the activated glucose molecule. So this is the reactions for glycolysis. In glycolysis, first, the conversion of glucose to glucose 6-phosphate takes place with the help of enzyme hexokinase. This hexokinase is an enzyme which has a requirement of ATP and Mg2 plus ions for its reaction. Once the glucose 6-phosphate has been obtained, one thing which has to keep in mind is that this reaction is in a one direction. Glucose 6-phosphate is then converted to fructose 6-phosphate via an isomerase. Fructose 6-phosphate once again phosphorylated by enzyme phosphofructokinase, and it is converted to a molecule of fructose 1,6 biphosphate. Here the two phosphate groups has been there, which is attached on the same molecule, that is fructose, and that's why in a name it has been mentioned that bias phosphate. Now here the structure is also shown to have an idea regarding the atoms of the carbon. Now, the molecule or enzyme aldolase, which cleaves this fructose 1,6 biphosphate, and it produces molecules of two trioses. One is dihydroxyacetone phosphate and another one is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. And another enzyme, triose phosphate isomerase, will also convert this DHAP to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Now, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate by an enzyme, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase is converted to 1,3-biphosphoglycerate, and in doing so, it will also produce a molecule of NADH2. This NADH2 is the reducing equivalent, which will later on transport it to ETC. Now, 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate with the help of enzyme phosphoglycerate kinase will convert it to a molecule of 3-phosphoglycerate, and here the 1-phosphate has been transported to ADP and is forming a ATP molecule. So phosphoglycerate kinase is the enzyme where the ATP molecule is directly formed. 3-phosphoglycerate so formed is then subjected to and action by an enzyme mutase and converted to 2-phosphoglycerate. So here the phosphate group has been rearranged from third position to second position by an enzyme mutase. In the next reaction, this 2-phosphoglycerate is converted to phosphoenol pyruvate by an enzyme enolase, and in a final step, this phosphoenol pyruvate or the PAPE by an enzyme pyruvate kinase finally give rise to a molecule of pyruvate. Now here in this pathway, up till the molecule of fructose 1,6 biphosphate, a single molecule of glucose is converted to a single molecule of fructose 1,6 biphosphate. But here the two trioses are generated. So from single molecule of 1,6 biphosphate, we have got two molecules of this trioses, and that's why each triose will subjected to a formation of pyruvate. Then this remaining triose will also convert it this glycerol diphosphate, and it will continue the same path. So that's why overall there is a two molecules of pyruvate has been formed from a single molecule of glucose. Now energetics of this glycolysis. So here you can clearly see that two molecules of NADH has been formed. Single molecule of NADH give rise to a 3 ATP. That's why two molecule of NADH will produce 6 ATP. And we have seen that in the two reaction, direct ATP formation has takes place. And that's why these are the 2 and the 2 ATPs. So total there are 10 ATPs has been produced in the process of glycolysis. But initially, in the preparatory phase, 2 ATP has been consumed in the first reaction and in the third reaction, catalyzed by hexokinase and phosphofructokinase respectively. And if you count the net gain from the glycolysis, then 10 minus 2, which is equal to 8. So, net gain of ATPs during the process of glycolysis is 8 molecules of ATP. Now, how the regulation of this glycolysis is carried out? So, there are three steps which are irreversible, and these are the steps which are catalyzed by enzyme hexokinase, phosphofructokinase, and pyruvate kinase. By controlling the activity of this enzyme, glycolysis can be regulated. So, here on the right hand side of this diagram, you can clearly see this glucose 6 phosphate, which is a product of the enzyme hexokinase. The glucose is converted to glucose 6 phosphate by this hexokinase. So this is a product. Whenever the concentration of this glucose 6 phosphate has been rise above a certain concentration, then it itself act as an inhibitor to this hexokinase and thereby prevents further conversion of glucose to glucose 6 phosphate. Now another enzyme is phosphofructokinase, and you can clearly see this phosphofructokinase is subjected to both positive and negative regulation. Concentration of ADP and AMP if rises in the cell, it subjected to a positive uh, activation of phosphofructokinase, whereas this high concentration of ATP and citrate, which shows an energy rich status of a cell, if it is there, it will inhibit the enzyme phosphofructokinase 1. Similarly, this pyruvate kinase is also subjected to inhibition by high concentration of ATP, and it is also a coordination of these different three enzymes will regulate the glycolytic pathway. Now here, up till now we have seen that there is 8 molecules of ATP has been obtained from the glycolysis. But what is the condition when if this glycolysis has been carried out in anaerobic condition? So in anaerobic conditions, the pyruvate form is subjected to conversion to lactate, or it is converted to a molecule of ethanol or alcohol. Now in either of the cases, whether lactate is formed or ethanol is formed, there is a consumption of NADH. Okay, and this NADH, since formed in glycolysis, if it is consumed, then only the ATP is obtained from direct ATP production and not from reducing equivalent. So if the oxidation is taking place in the anaerobic condition, there is a loss of ATPs that otherwise will gain from NADH. So in case of anaerobic glycolysis, there is only two molecules of ATP has been produced. Therefore, aerobic glycolysis is more efficient than the anaerobic reactions. So main gain is to thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.